And from one never-ending saga to another in Jed Spence, we've had a few updates on that this morning. First one from John Percy of The Telegraph, and he says, Jed Spence is expected to complete a move to Tottenham before the weekend. Borough have settled on a 15 million fee up front, which could reach the 20 million after instalments. Spence has been a priority target for Antonio Conte this summer. However, Paul O'Keefe responded to that and he says, not true, I'm afraid. No breakthrough. I think it will get done, but nothing close yet. It will move very quickly once agreed. But we've been at this stage for 3 weeks. Rob Guesty also was updating us this morning, and he says Tottenham are understood not to have yet agreed a deal with Middlesbrough for Jed Spence. I mean, this saga, it's just going on and on and on and on. When are we just going to pull the trigger and get this deal over the line?
Yeah, it's unbelievable that even when we think it's coming to an end, we think, okay, finally, it's 15 million plus add-ons. Like, what's the hold-up, really? I don't really understand why it's taking so long. Because he's such an important player for such an important position, we need him in. So if it doesn't get done before the South Korea trip, then there definitely has to be serious questions asked. As long as it does get done, but before
I'm not too bothered.
We go away, I'm not too bothered. But if there is serious hold up for then I think then all of a sudden Spence is struggling to settle in, all these kind of things, then all of a sudden that does become a problem. But I do think he'll get done. I think the noises are going in the right direction, despite the fact that you're hearing right now maybe there's no breakthrough and whatnot. Paul O'Keefe saying that he thinks it's Middlesbrough trying to force the deal through, putting it out that the deal's getting close, and Spurs are still digging their heels in. It's so hard to know what's the truth because you're hearing from all different sources. Sky Sports are saying they have found a resolution. Telegraph are quite reliable. They're saying it's close. But then you have other very reliable sources as well say it's not as close as they're saying. So hard to know what the truth is and to piece together. But the more I think about the Spence deal, the more I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Tottenham shirt. And I think, if anything, we know that he's going to be able to cover that wing with his pace and be able to physically be able to do things. He's going to be able to grow with Antonio Conte as well. And obviously he's still 21. So people I see people, for example, say they watched him in the playoff final and they watched him in this game and that game and he wasn't that great and his final ball wasn't so good. But it's like the boy's 21. You know what I mean? No one is the finished article at 21. Very rare. Like, obviously you have exceptions like Trent, who's like a world beater at 21, but like these are the exception to the rule. Like, he's got space to grow. He's going to be able to learn under Conte how to improve these facets of his game. So I think for the price being talked about, it's a good deal, and let's just hope we get it done sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. So that's the Spence situation. Let's talk about the Lenglet situation now. As Rob Guesty, well, first of all, we heard from Fabrizio Romano yesterday. He gave us the "Here we go soon," which
here we go soon.
The "Here we go soon." We also heard from a different publication yesterday that Lenglet is already in London. But Rob Guesty telling us this morning that Tottenham have held talks over a loan move with Clement Lenglet, but a move is not close to completion just yet. This one as well, and it's nowhere near as ongoing as like Spence and the Bergwijn deals, but we keep seeing conflicting kind of reports from this one as well about how close it is actually to being done.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got to be the finer details, but again, this was one on Friday, which was on the brink of being completed, and we sit here on Wednesday and it's still not quite there. I trust that when Romano says it's the "Here we go soon," then you have to think that there has to be close, has to be really close to completion. If he I don't think he would do that unless it was as close as he's saying. But when it comes to loan deals and the finances and all that, there's a lot of nitty gritty for Spurs and Barcelona, especially Barcelona and their financial troubles as well right now. There's probably a lot to talk about and a lot to go over, but I'm sure this is going to get done. It seems like we've decided on him. So it's probably a bit of posturing on both sides, but I reckon it can't be too far away. And again, we have to have him through for the pre-season to get him to know his teammates and stuff and get that confidence booster, because he's been through a lot in terms of confidence wise over the past few years. So he needs those times to meet his teammates, get used to the team, and build his confidence back. And hopefully he can do that over pre-season.
Yeah, and I do think that these two deals will get done before the team travel to South Korea. I genuinely believe that, but I think that will be it from before South Korea. And then after South Korea, I think it will just be a case of getting the players out that we want to get out. And also maybe if any kind of opportunities present themselves, I think they'll strike on those deals. But I think in terms of the core squad, we're there now, aren't we? If those two come in.
Yeah, I think so. We would have signed the centre mid we want. We would have signed a right wing back that we want. We would have signed the striker that we want. And then obviously the centre back, I wouldn't say we've signed the centre back that we want, but we've signed the centre back. So I think all the elements are there. It will just be filling in a few odd bits and pieces, but the core, the spine is definitely there. That's for sure. The three centre backs, the midfielders, and the strikers. But it's about filling in maybe a few upgrades if we can do. Maybe it's centre back position, and maybe potentially another winger if we don't believe in Gil, because we'll talk about Gil in a sec. So I think there's the shapings of a very, very good squad that can challenge next season, but it's going to be difficult to even with what we've done to close the gap on the front two, considering they've got Nunez and Haaland. But definitely to go for third, I think for sure we've definitely done more than enough. I think.
Yeah, I agree, and especially when you're looking at the shape of the Chelsea squad right now. I know they're about to make signings; they're going to make signings, but right now I would say Spurs have a better squad than Chelsea. They got a massive lack of defenders, lack of strikers. Sterling looks like he's out the door. I mean, Sterling's coming through the door, sorry. But, I think that Spurs are looking stronger than Chelsea right now.
Well, probably more settled, with Chelsea, their new owners and everything. I know Tuchel has been there a while, but I just feel like there's a lot of uncertainty last season at Chelsea. And we'll have to wait and see whether they can get back to the standards, because they definitely got affected by everything that was going on in the club. That was clear. I thought that was clear last season. Their results suffered for it, but they were looking strong first half of the season. So if they can get back to that, how they were playing like that, then I'm sure they're also going to be a massive challenge. But it's a big ask, because there's got a lot of rebuilding of the squad to do and a lot of things to sort out, and they're going to have to get some different characters in different positions. So I think Chelsea is just we're a bit more of a calmer ship right now than Chelsea.
Yeah,
doesn't mean
so.
to see by the start of the season it could be different though.
Yeah. Next up, let's talk about Richarlison. We saw yesterday the club made I think it was a tweet. They were pressing Richarlison's name and they unveiled his number, which is obviously number 9. I brought to you before that he's posted it up, and he's posted up his shirt with the number 9 on the back. So we've got our very own R9. We also saw pictures of him yesterday saying goodbye to everyone at Everton. I saw pictures of him and Lampard, Yerry Mina, the kit staff and stuff like that, saying his emotional goodbyes. And we also heard from the Brazilian coach yesterday, and Brazilian coach Tite was asked who he sees as the number 9 for the World Cup, and without hesitation he says Richarlison. So they're obviously looking for another reincarnation of R9 at the World Cup this summer or this winter. But when all these comparisons are being made between Richarlison and Jesus and this one and that one, without hesitation he called Richarlison his number 9.
Which is quite unexpected, because you would have thought that he wouldn't be a certain starter, but maybe they are very happy with him in Brazil. Obviously, he's a very hard worker. We know he's really got high energy in the attacking line. He does the defensive work. He gets in defenders' faces and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's a value he really cherishes. And maybe they see a lot more quality than a lot of other people see, because people think, because Everton have been struggling and he's part of that team, that he's on that level. But I think I've always seen him as a player above that level for me whenever I see him play for Everton, and I think he can really improve his output at Tottenham and improve his standards. And clearly in Brazil they think very highly of him, and to think they have other players who you might think are more suited to number 9, like Gabriel Jesus, who's more of a natural number 9, but he thinks Richarlison's the one who's got a better profile. I remember I was reading the interview and he said that he thinks that Richarlison, in terms of profiles, as number 9 best out of any other option. which is very, very interesting. I think Richarlison sees himself as a striker apparently more than a winger, which is also very interesting. So I wonder where he'll play the majority of his games for Tottenham, whether he'll be up front or whether off the left. It's a big question mark. But clearly, this is a very exciting signing, and he's going to have a lot of... I think Richarlison is going to have a lot of people that are backing him and believe in him, and we have to do the same.
Yeah. I completely
an R9.
agree.
We've got an R9.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. R9. And if you've seen the pictures, I mean, he has done that little semicircle in front of his head before as well. So channeling his real inner R9. But we've got our R9, and I can't be more excited for the season to start. Next up, the last of the incomings we're going to be talking about, that is at Memphis Depay. Once again, as Alfredo Padula was saying yesterday, that Tottenham are interested in Memphis Depay, and Barca are asking for £20 million. Does that
it's cheap?
Does that look like good value to you? 20 million for Depay?
It is cheap. I mean, what would probably be the best deal if we really wanted him, is maybe go for a loan with an option to buy, and maybe Barca would be open to that because they just need to get wages off and stuff like that. 20 million is not terrible, to be honest. I mean, he is still, what, 28, 29?
Something like that,
maybe
yeah.
30. With someone like his quality, like, I mean...
28, yeah.
20, so he's still 28. So, I mean, it's not terrible, to be honest. Do we
need him, though?
We don't need him. But you could argue we didn't need Richarlison, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that because we've got Richarlison, the need for Depay is even less.
Yeah. I like his quality. I think he can be a very good player. And he obviously, again, is also versatile, a bit like Richarlison. But the problem for me is just his ego.
And wages probably as well.
I think his ego is even more than someone like Richarlison is. So that would worry me about him coming into the squad. His weight, I don't know what he's on. I mean, he was bought for a free from Barca, wasn't he? So I'm guessing they gave him a big contract. I don't know.
And the injuries too.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he does have injury problems. But at Lyon, he was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his injury record was at Lyon, but he was very good there. And he started the season really well. Is this his first or second season at Barca?
I think it was his first.
Yeah, he just lasted one season, didn't he?
Let's have a look. So, yeah, one season he was at Barcelona.
He started the season really well. It was really weird. And then when Xavi came in, he just didn't really pick him. He bought Aubameyang. And then Depay wasn't getting much of a look in. Maybe it was injuries as well that put paid to that. I don't know. Oh, but I don't. Sorry, my chair's gone down. I like Depay. I think he'd be a good player for us potentially if we got a cheap deal for him, and he would be another good attacking option. And I think I'll definitely complete our attack. But I don't know, something just doesn't sit right with me with this deal. In terms of, I get the feeling he wouldn't be a good dressing room.
I don't really want him, to be honest.
I mean, I wouldn't mind signing him though.
There's too much in it for me that outweighs the positives. I mean, the injury record, attitude, wages, not really much of a need for him as well. I mean, I'll probably just prefer to stay away in this situation.
No, I hear that. But if we do believe that he could provide value to the squad, I think he's a good player. I think he's a very good player. So from that point of view, it's a cheap deal and we think there's a role for him, then I wouldn't be against it. But logically, it doesn't make sense to me.
Got a comment here from Jack Snare in the comment section. He says, surely Dybala over Depay. And I agree with that.
Dybala over Depay. Yes, although Dybala's probably wanting like 300 grand. I don't know if Depay would want that.
You reckon he wants 300 grand, Depay?
That's what, not Depay, Dybala.
I mean, Dybala.
That's what they're saying, isn't it? Yeah, well, he's on a free, isn't he? So free transfers always.
Well, he thought he was going to get that into Milan. I mean, he was on the brink of joining Inter Milan. He was not going to get that there, is he?
That's probably why he's not going.
I thought he's not going because they got Lukaku.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows the real reason? I think they wanted Lukaku and him.
I'm not sure. I thought that because Lukaku came in, Inter came out and said that they're all fully stocked in their attacking options now.
I don't know. Who knows what the truth is? Who knows what the truth is? I don't know. I think I would imagine he was on big money at Juventus, at least pushing 200 grand a week, and now he's moving on a free transfer. He's no transfer fee. You probably would want around a 250 to 300. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense to me.
Well, Depay's on 230 grand a week as it stands right now.
Yeah. So that's why I loan with an option to buy. That's why I'd go for.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, but Dybala's also good. I mean, I would like Dybala as well, to be fair. I mean, I wouldn't say no to Dybala if we would sign him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I think he would be a brilliant player for us. But yeah, I don't know. Both these players, injury records, big money.
You're probably right on Dybala because his last wage at Juve was 222.
Yeah, he probably wants at least 300.
Yeah, you're probably not far away from that figure anyway.
I don't know. Both players wouldn't. I think if we're going to sign another attacker, it needs to be a young up and coming one.
I agree.
Not a more established one.
I agree. I just think, like I said before, I think Depay just comes with a bit too much baggage for me.